If it turns out that this Iranian assassination plot on U.S. soil was sanctioned at the highest levels of the Iranian government, then I believe military force should not be taken off the table.
Today's hearings address a critical homeland security issue, Iran's terror operations on American soil. In my view, this is a game changer and represents crossing of the red line by Iran. The complaint unsealed in New York on October 11th has ramifications that are significant for homeland security in the United States. The focus since 9/11 has rightly been on al-Qaeda and affiliated terrorist groups. Debate about Iran's intent and capability to strike on American soil has been limited to the nuclear issue. That must change, and I hope today's hearing is a constructive contribution to the debate. While the United States and the international community has issued sanctions against Iran in some form since 1979, it's obvious from the assassination attempt that Iran has not been deterred. Some have theorized that such an attempt might actually signal some amount of desperation and dissension within Iran, particularly as it relates to the relationship between Ahmadinejad and the ruling theocracy. What are the implications of that? I do believe, regardless, that it's important for the United States to get serious, sanction the Iranian central bank, its oil refinery businesses, its shipping companies, and its port operations. While Iran assassinating a foreign ambassador in Washington, D.C. is a significant provocation, it's not a plot considered in isolation. Iran is on a path toward obtaining a nuclear weapon. We cannot allow that to happen.
For holding today's hearing, this is a vital issue, and I think it's very appropriate that the two subcommittees came together to hold this hearing. Much reference has been made this morning to the recent indictment and the allegations regarding the plot against the United States by Iran or by elements within Iran. I've seen much of the evidence, both from this committee and the Intelligence Committee, and the totality of the evidence makes it clear that this was a real plot. All of the various types of evidence confirms how real it was, and this, as Chairman Meehan said, a game changer. This takes it to a new level. Iran's actions against the United States, but to actually be contemplating what would have been an active war against the United States. Number one, killing a foreign ambassador on American soil in our nation's capital, but also clear from the statements that were made that there was a willingness to kill hundreds of Americans along with that. So you have the assassination of a foreign ambassador. You have the willingness to kill hundreds of Americans. This is an act of war. And so we have to, I don't think we can just do business as usual or even carry on sanctions as usual. And I think sanctions have been somewhat effective in the past, but because of this red line that was crossed, that was jumped across, I believe further action is needed to make it clear how strongly we feel about this, and also not just to send a message to Iran, but also send a message to other nations in the region about how seriously we feel. I think, for instance, we should expel Iranian officials, both in New York at the UN and also here in Washington. Many of them are working as spies. In New York, we had a particular experience of people out of the